My niggas outside cracking the matrix, dodging oppositions in the hate.
Shit.
We at legitimate though, bro. Crazy contender on 140. A lot of good fights that can be made. So we'll see. We'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go main event. Main event. First off, bro, the whole the show, the performance of Eminem, I wasn't real big on it. It was cool, but bro, we set up to
This shit
what?
was trash,
Bro,
bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Bro, 2:30.
And I read it.
Bro, I was tired,
read
bro.
a,
I was in here like this.
Sleep.
I read a tweet was talking about how, and it is kind of true, but the zone is the best at doing the worst
Facts.
with time in between
Facts.
fights. Like
Yes,
I've never
absolutely.
been entertained in between the zone fights, like ever.
Absolutely. That shit was terrible.
They could have kept that Eminem performance for sure.
And how much do you think that might have affected the fighters, bro? That long wait.
I affected them too much. I don't think it was too much.
You could, because it's one thing to see on the itinerary, hey, we got this coming
Yeah.
up. But even still, you're so used to going back to back to back on these fights, you might have 15 minutes to get ready or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
different.
It all depends on what they deal with at the time. Like if they treated it as like they had another fight before, like say they treated it as like the car was a little bigger, and they just kind of spaced out how they were moving between their workouts and their like basically their preparation regimen that they do, then it probably wasn't too bad. I don't think it was that noticeable for the fighters. Kind of like a Super Bowl halftime show or something.
Yeah.
Where they come back out and they were a little goofy for the first few. You know what I mean? It didn't seem like that.
I got you.
Yeah.
What was y'all take on the simple fact? I know y'all heard about Crawford's glove issues.
So what was the whole deal about that?
They said they said he was a sponsor of what? Grants?
Rival.
Everlast. What?
Yeah, Everlast. And he wore Grant last night.
Yeah, they said he put on his first one. He was warming up. Yeah, the first one busted right open.
Damn.
The first pair, yeah. Boom. So he put on another one. He put on another pair. It really wasn't working for him. So then they had to order another, they had to order the other joints. And he just had to really, really roll with them.
Yep.
But he really wasn't comfortable in them. He just had to roll with them.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah. For a fight like that, yeah. For a fighter like that, in a fight like that, yeah. And I'm not gonna attribute that to anything that happened in the ring.
Me either.
Because I pretty much think that everything happened in the ring how I thought. Like I pretty much kind of went into this fight thinking that it was gonna go like this. I'm in Philly, and I was talking to my uncle. I figured out I didn't know he was a big fight fan too. So he was on Stream East. I'm not saying I was, but he was watching the fight.
Piracy.
He was watching the fight, and I was like, "Oh, you fuck with boxing?" So we over here chatting it up. He's like, "How do you think that Crawford fight's gonna go?" I looked at him. I was like, "Listen." He was trying to bet, and I was like, "Bet it to go the distance." And he was like, "I don't know. He got that streak going. It's Crawford." I was like, "Bet the fight to go the distance. G. This is his first fight at 155. He's fighting Eastern European. They're hard to get up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Bet it to go the distance." He didn't take the bet. Long story short, he did not take the bet. But so yeah, no, I pretty much I wasn't surprised by that performance at all. I don't want to call it boring. I want to say
very entertaining.
That's what Crawford type fights look like. I'll say this: people that aren't used to watching Crawford fights, even though he had the long knockout streak, it was everything but the knockout.
Mm-hmm.
But it looked like a Crawford fight that I've seen before, essentially.
Do y'all think it was unanimous?
No.
Like it was?
I don't think it was unanimous. I think that even though Crawford takes, by some standards, a long time to figure out someone's rhythm before he picks his spot. He controlled the back half of that fight, in my opinion. So would I call it unanimous? Maybe not. Do I think he won the fight? Yes, if that makes sense.
I thought he won too,
Absolutely.
but I think it was super close. Like I think you could have gave.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could have, bro. You could have probably called it a draw on one of the cards,
Even Europeans are hard to fight. We're just gonna put that out there.
bro. And you got to think the pressure. I mean, and then the times that he did. First off, people cannot say that Terence Crawford dominated because, like, for a while, bro, he just threw more punches. They didn't land. The other dude was way accurate. Way accurate.
Well, I would say as a judge, it was
With
hard.
power punches too.
Yes.
It was hard. I feel like it would be very. I would not want to be a judge calling that fight
No.
because of how the
Yes.
punches were. You couldn't really tell
Absolutely.
if the punches were landing on Terence Crawford, as well as you couldn't tell if the punches were not landing on Madrimov, and vice versa. Like because of how their styles are, it either looked like because they like to get out of the way, it either looked like they're getting out of the way because they got hit, but in reality, it's because they either checked one or got out of the way of one and got out the way. But you can't really see that as much if you're a judge right there ringside, I feel like. So it would have been a tough fight to score as a judge. Just put it like that.
I mean, I agree.
For the most part.
I agree, but you also need to beat the champion. I don't know if it was a convincing dub from Crawford.
Hey, Madrimov was the champion.
Bro, no, but like you have to beat, not like win, not just win, but like you have to dominate the champion in order to take that belt away.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And I know what you mean. I know what you were meaning by that. I know what you mean. And
I just didn't see it, bro.
yes.
He won. I think Crawford won, but also think it could have been a draw. It could have been a draw.
You got to think about the ramifications. Even though Madrimov was the champion,
It's the money.
the A side, I think that should be widened to you have to beat the A side.
Yes. It's true.
Mhm.
It's true. It's true.
I think you got to beat the championship. That phrase should change because it definitely seemed as if let's say it like this. If that's how the Earl Spence fight went, like exactly like that,
Yeah.
I think it goes to a draw.
Yeah.
I think they call it a draw. And I'm not saying Madrimov isn't. I mean, he is. He's not big here. So, and Terence Crawford is still essentially building his star power here too. But he's the A side. So even if Madrimov, I feel like it's kind of like Devin Haney Loma in the sense where even though Loma I think won the fight more convincingly than Madrimov would, if you would say that. But I feel like later in the rounds, it was kind of clear that Terence Crawford was controlling the movement of the fight in the later rounds. And that was what pushed him over the top, in my opinion.
I'll give you that.
So,
give you that.
And I honestly feel like if he was fighting anyone else, he probably would have got him out of there at 147.
Yeah.
It's just hard to knock down the Eastern European.
Honestly,
That's a fact.
He was landing some. Go ahead.
No. I was just kind of agreeing with you. Like maybe even at 154, anybody but him.
Yeah, he was landing some shit at the end. Terence Crawford was,
Yeah.
but it's someone that's not gonna go down.
Mm-mm.
So
do you think it's power transfer?
I think that it would against most fighters. People don't really understand how tough it is to fight, and I'm gonna broaden it and not really put it and just keep saying the region, but they are essentially built to fight amateur fights.
Yeah.
Completely. And their movement is crazy. They grow up learning ballet. Like they do so much that their movement is just so insane. Footwork is so insane. And Terence Crawford has great footwork, but his thing is figuring out rhythm. They switch up the rhythm so much that it's like, even if you think you figured out one, let's switch it up again. They don't really stick to one thing when they fight because they know they have to point it out. So they're good at not figuring out different styles, but they see so many different styles in the amateurs that their footwork is designed to be able to deal with that. And he just kept switching it up, and Terence Crawford was he'd figure it out, but just be late. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I think that Crawford won. I'll just say that.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, and I think it was a great fight. It was very entertaining for me, even from the first round. Very entertaining. You could tell like it was gonna be a tough one. Just the movement, like they couldn't figure each other out for the first five or so rounds.
Yeah,
It was different.
yeah.
It was something different we haven't seen
What do you
before.
think? Where do you think Crawford goes from here?
Um, you go ahead. You go ahead, G.
I don't know. You could take the 4. I honestly,
What?
I mean, I think the only thing next is what? Canelo?
No. Don't
Uh-uh.
do it. Don't do it.
But I'm not saying he still beats Canelo. He still beats Canelo. So
Bro,
I'm
I don't
No,
look.
no,
I'm gonna touch on
yes,
that in a second.
no. Glass, no.
What I think is
yes.
next for Terence Crawford, I think he should stay at 154. I don't know how long he has in the
Okay.
sport, but honestly, bro, figure out if you can get the winner between Lara and Garcia, Danny Garcia.
Why not go Fundora?
I think that's a weird fight. That's a weird
Well,
fight.
no, he gets Fundora out of here like pretty fast.
Probably, but it's
In my
still a
opinion.
weird fight, man. Like anything could happen in that fight.
Yeah, yeah, anything. If you count how the Tim Zoo Fundora fight, yeah, anything can definitely happen. But I
I
think,
wouldn't waste my time on him, bro. I really wouldn't.
well, I think he's trying to unify. So the winner of if the Spence Fundora fight happens, he still holds, or he had to relinquish one, right? And that's how Terence Crawford got
Yeah.
uh the one that for that one. And I don't know how many he still has. I think he has 3, but I think he needs to unify 154. I think that's next, in my opinion.
And I low key think he fights Spence again, bro.
At where? At
I,
At
154?
154.
I don't think Spence wants to fight him again.
I don't know if he does or doesn't. Like, if from the looks of it, maybe he doesn't.
I don't think he wants to fight him again, man. I don't think so.
Bro,
Ah,
and I love Spence, but I'm just, man,
I don't think he wants to put himself through that again.
I don't know if he
Like,
wants to
I think
even put himself
legitimately,
through the Fundora fight, even though I think he wins.
I 100% think that if you ask Spence off the record and you were like, yo, you want to fight Terence Crawford again? He gonna look at you like, bro, I'm not gonna put up with that shit.
me, I would have fired my whole training staff.
He did.
He did, low key. Yeah.
For the
That
most
was a dumb fight. That was a dumb fight to take at that time.
But
Me personally.
he had to.
he didn't listen to anybody, bro. Like, he pushed for it, even after Al Hammond said no.
Al Heyman said no. His team said no. He said, I want to make this fight happen to the point where he and Crawford had to get on the phone to make it happen
Yes.
and not their team. And I mean, I will not take anything away from him for taking that fight either. But
He got clipped.
also really
Yeah,
nice
he
what happened.
got clipped, bro. He got clipped.
Yeah, he got rocked. He got rocked. But I think next that's why I don't think, it wasn't a flash KO. It wasn't a freak punch. It wasn't a cut
He,
like a
he
Fundora
beat him.
Tenzu.
It was a beating.
It was a domination.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
So
beat him.
getting back in the ring, knowing someone has your number, tough to do. Unless you have a different game plan. But I think Spence knows that he doesn't have a different game plan. He's never like even though Derek James has been his coach, he doesn't really make adjustments at all.
Nope.
Like
In Glass, bro,
that's tough.
people got to understand too. Like, I know you fired Derek James in a sense, but you are who you are, and it's like whoever you go, you're still gonna fight the same style. Like,
Yeah,
That's a fact.
especially if you don't listen. Especially if you don't listen.
and you're 34.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think it's gonna be
With a
just-
head
So-
injury.
With a whole bunch of injuries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even just head. He got a shit ton of injuries.
That car crash, man, I think it did a number over time. Maybe not like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not right
Remember the
after.
red note?
Yeah, detached retina and all that.
Yeah, Pat Redmond when was about to fight Pacquiao.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even
So,
Danny Garcia, that fight shortly after the accident, you couldn't really tell anything
hmm
there too much, but over time, as time passed, bro, the shit caught up to
hmm
him. Which I hated because
yeah,
he was a hell of a fighter. I think pre-accident, I think he beats Terence Crawford. Pre-accident.
yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
fact.
Well, hold on. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yes,
I
yes.
think that Terence Crawford's style is made to beat him. Like, what changes though? Like his output changes a little bit. I don't think that. Also, pre-accident, we do realize he was like drinking, smoking, not in shape.
Oh,
That
facts.
shit should have been.
Facts. Still getting guys out
So
of there. Mikey Garcia.
pre-accident, but he ain't. That's not Terrence Crawford though.
I mean,
Like
when you
Terrence
see
Crawford,
him pre-accident from post-accident, it was a lot of difference. Like, I mean, his reaction
Reaction
time,
time is, yup.
pre-accident,
his reaction
his
time is
reaction time
definitely better.
pre was yes, pre it was insane differently.
But Terrence
Like,
Crawford still would figure him out. I feel like.
Bro, I honestly,
I think it's, like you said, style may fight. I think pre Earl Spence would have tried to make Terrence Crawford go into that deep waters. He was gonna
It
bring it
would
out
it would
of
have been
it was gonna be a brawl. It wasn't gonna be a technical fight. I think it would have been a
it
brawl.
would have been the same
I would
way
have been
of Mikey
surprised.
Garcia and him. It would have been the same type of fight.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
know. Y'all discrediting Terrence
I'm
Crawford's
not
great.
discrediting him, but I really think Spence. I mean, Spence is that guy, bro. Like, it's unfortunate
Was
what had happened to him. Very unfortunate.
well. Here's the thing. I don't fully think he beat. I mean, he definitely beat Sean Porter, but last few rounds. Sean Porter, someone that isn't even as good as Terrence Crawford,
Facts.
was able to like expose some things in Earl Spence. So, and granted, in different ways because they don't fight the same. But Terrence would have picked up on that timing regardless, in my opinion. He would have
Maybe
picked up on that
you
timing,
could be right.
and he would have definitely gotten to the same rhythm he was getting to. Would it have happened at that rate and looked that bad of a fight? No, I don't think it would have been that bad of a fight. I think uh, uh, physically, I don't think he swells up as much, so he couldn't see for part of the fight. I don't think his body
Damn.
reacts to those punches the same.
He just
Reacts
had
to
to
those,
go there, bro. He
you
just
know what I
had to
mean?
go
Like,
there.
well, he swelled up fast.
Golly.
He swelled up fast, dude. Like his face swelled up
Bro,
fast. It wasn't even like,
he looked like Martin, bro, off of that episode.
yeah. It was rapid. Like that
Oh
wasn't even
shit.
like that was off a few of the shots. So that's what I mean by I think that it won't look like that per se, but I still think Terrence Crawford would dominate that fight. Personally,
Well,
I think so.
let's fast forward. Last take before we get out of there, and I want to continue what y'all was arguing about. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think Terrence Crawford can beat Canelo right now, bro. I don't.
I think that the same thing you were saying about David Benavidez and David Morrell, how Canelo's older and fights as if he's the older fighter, that rhythm, Terrence Crawford's going to pick up on that rhythm. He's going to pick his shots. He's going to be a little bit uh, more careful, make sure he doesn't get hit with the return shots that Canelo's got, and he'll take care of that fight personally.
G.
I think y'all slipping on my boy, man.
Nah.
He the king. He the king of boxing for a reason.
He was.
Period.
He was.
He still
Was.
is.
He's on his way out.
It don't matter. It don't matter what y'all talking.
Doesn't matter.
I don't think Terrence Crawford will take him out at all. Like, I don't think Terrence Crawford beats Canelo. Like, but I think with, a David Benavidez matchup or Morrell, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think it'd be the same type of regimen that we get from Crawford, where it's gonna be the first few rounds, he's gonna be figuring it out. Canelo would actually have to work on his punch rate there. If he works on his punch rate, will he be able to go the distance? You have to sacrifice that comfort level that he's been in these last 6, 7 fights of being able to pace his shots and to get that against Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? He'd have to sacrifice that comfort level. And if it goes late in the rounds, Terrence is just picking his shots because Terrence doesn't really tire out. So Terrence is picking his shots there.
Right. Right.
That's how I feel.
Well, on that note, G, you are frozen. That is an episode. I hope y'all actually had a good one. Good weekend. We will be back sometime this week. Probably like Tuesday, Wednesday. So we will catch y'all then.
But never say shit. My niggas outside cracking the matrix. Trying to dodge the COVID and the haters.